3 finished fantasy trilogies that you need to add to your TBR. Hey guys, I'm CJ. Welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things fantasy, sci-fi, and even a little bit of thriller and horror sometimes. Today we're going to be talking about 3 fantasy trilogies that you need to add to your TBR immediately. They are so good, and they are completed, so you don't have to worry about waiting for the next one to come out or if it's ever going to be written. My first recommendation is the Greenbone Saga by Fonda Lee. I love this trilogy so much. This is an urban fantasy that follows the Call family as they navigate a war that spans decades. Fonda Lee is such a brilliant writer. The ending of this series is one of my all-time favorites. She wraps it up so beautifully. I love that we got to follow along with this family as we see them first start off as young adults, just taking over all of these positions that their parents and grandparents have had for years and learning to navigate in a crazy war. They're making all of these decisions for their families that are life or death, and we see them grow up, get married, and have kids of their own. Before the end of this series, you will be in tears multiple times. If you prefer a fantasy series that isn't heavy on magic, this is definitely the perfect trilogy for you. There is very minimal magic in this. It really focuses a lot on politics and making strategic decisions. I think the Greenbone Saga deserves so much more hype than it gets. Please add this to your TBR if you haven't already. The next trilogy I'm recommending is the BLOODSWORN Saga by John Gwynne. This has recently turned into one of my favorite series of all time. I loved it so much. John Gwynne is a master of battle scenes. His fight scenes are so detailed and incredible, and the way he writes them, it's very easy to follow and picture what is happening. We start off with 3 main POVs in the first book, but it branches to 5 POVs in the second and third book. I loved how John Gwynne brought all the threads together with all of these people. Everybody is on their own mission and is doing their own thing, but all of them intersect and everybody ends up together by the end of the third book. He does it so beautifully. Nothing felt forced. Nothing felt like, why is that person doing that? All of it came together so perfectly. And I just loved every second of this series. If you are looking for an epic fantasy full of Vikings, revenge, and incredible battle scenes, the BLOODSWORN Saga is for you. My last recommendation is the First Law Trilogy by Joe Abercrombie. This is a grimdark fantasy series that is very character driven. We really delve into these characters that are all morally gray, and even though they're very crappy people, Joe Abercrombie is such an amazing writer. He makes you love these people that are doing terrible things, and yet you somehow care for them. A lot of people read the first book and maybe aren't that impressed with it. I still think The Blade itself is a great book, but it definitely is the weakest of the 3. It is a lot slower. We don't really move the plot forward at all. It is very character driven, but we dive so deep into these characters and really learn who they are, and the payoff is phenomenal once you get to the third book. The plot really takes off in the second book, and when we wrap up the third book, you will be left in awe with what Abercrombie has done. Personally, I think you should listen or do immersive reading with the First Law Trilogy. Stephen Pacey does such a wonderful job bringing these books to life. His narration is one of my all-time favorites. I highly recommend listening to the audiobooks for these. These were my 3 recommendations for finished fantasy trilogies. If you've read any of them, comment down below and tell me which one is your favorite. These are some of my favorite trilogies that I've read in the last couple years. I hope you guys will add them to your TBR and enjoy them as much as I did.